Hi, Ron Siliko here. What I was going to do in this screencast presentation was talk about my OD library for the 6015 EMOD class for the summer semester of 2012. First, I want to talk about the personal OD approach that I'm starting to develop through the first 4 courses that we've had as part of the program. Don't have a fancy name for it yet. Think we'll get one at some point, but it's basically looking at the whole part whole method. And this has been around in teaching for a long time, education. I've been involved with this in staff development my whole career, and I've also dealt with it with athletic teams in terms of coaching, where you've got a situation where you look at the whole scenario, the whole system, all the players. You've got parts, fundamentals within that group, and then you've got learning segments that you take as you're breaking down the parts. So the fundamentals, who's a good player, who needs to improve, what are some opportunities for improvement, what are the best practices, what are the best techniques to get us where we need to be. That's part of the ending learning segments method, where you put it back into the whole. My initial focus will be on recreational organizations in terms of consulting and OD, emphasizing customer service and leadership. Those are two of my particular strengths. They're things that I've studied for a long time, and I think I've got a pretty good handle on how to help organizations get better in both of those areas. A tool that I think could be useful as I develop my personal approach is what would be called the Sport Cafe. And this is a situation where you've got an athletic activity where you've got all the players taking part. I think it could serve as a good icebreaker and a way to build connections before the OD work commences. I'm not going to go into my personal portfolio. The link is here. That has a PowerPoint presentation where I outline some things that I want to accomplish personally. But I do want to go to my mission statement, because it is at the core of my being. It's at the core of my OD, and it's at the core of everything that I do personally and professionally. Which is, my mission is to be an enthusiastic, action-oriented, servant-minded, productive member of my family and community by maximizing my time while creating value in career and business pursuits. So this assignment asked for what would be our dream job, and I know there are dozens of scenarios out there for each person. Mine is actually to operate my own business using the OD skills that in part that I've learned through this program. But basically, I want to develop a recreation complex in my hometown of Litchfield, Ohio, which is denoted right here. This picture is taken from Google Earth. And Litchfield, Ohio is in western Medina County. It's about an hour south of Cleveland. The center of town intersects State Route 18, which runs west and east, and State Route 83, which goes north and south. Basically, what we're looking at is, in part, there's an existing outdoor complex with 4 ball fields, and then 1 mini ball field, concession stand, parking lot. And then 3 other residential properties that would be part of the acquisition. In total, this would be about 90 acres. I'm partial to this house being our residence. It's an old red brick farmhouse with a nice old red barn directly behind it. And then 2 other residences, one here and then one here. Again, about 90 acres. You can see a lot of potential for outdoor recreation space. And then envisioning that the rec center would be right in this location right here. So we would have paths either coming from State Route 18 or State Route 83 through the park, going to the indoor recreation complex. Some of the ideas that I have to put into the building and make it a multi-purpose, multi-use activity space is having several multi-purpose rooms that could be used for conference groups and meeting groups, organizations coming in, but a lot of potential for space. Putting rubberized floor in those spaces so they can be multifunctional in nature. And then the main activity spaces, the first one would be an indoor turf complex. This is the Massillon High School complex, which is a town about 40 minutes from Litchfield. And this is a field house concept where you basically have a large turf room, and you can do so many things in a turf room. Northeast Ohio is well known for having bad weather 4 or 5 months out of the year. So getting groups indoors, you can do so many activities on turf. There's a lot of potential for that. The other wing of the building would be the gymnasium field house, which would have 3 to 4 multi-purpose court spaces for basketball, volleyball, other indoor sport activities, with an indoor running complex going around the courts. Batting practice areas for baseball, weight room, fitness studios, and those could be some of the multi-purpose rooms I alluded to earlier, and the climbing wall, which would be a great draw for all ages. And these are all spaces that would be accessible for both rec center members and facility rentals. Some of the HR pieces that I think are important in creating this business is I do intend it to be a family-run business, and I do have some siblings with some unique talents that could fill some of these roles. But I did want to show the CEO role that I would occupy. Not a lot of responsibilities listed on here, but they are broad-ranging and crucial to the success of the organization. Is that number one, I want to create a complex not only that is sustainable for the short term and generates a profit, but also is sustainable long term and is a nice service to the community long after I'm gone. Got to work every day to bring in customers. That is a vital component. We've got a building that we need to get occupants in all hours the building's open. Developing community partnerships, getting people into the building, sharing agreements, sharing services, that'll be crucial. Creating working agreements with vendors, event hosts, and speakers. And most importantly, this person is going to be the face of the complex. They're bringing in all the staff, they're supervising staff, but they're the face of the organization. I put my resume here if the viewer does want to take a look at that. But just some of the basic highlights is that I've got over 15 years of administrative, facility management, programming, and staff development in the recreation field, 11 years of basketball coaching experience, and some experience as a small business owner. Gap analysis. This was such a great part of the exercise, and I think I've got the fundamentals of the profession down. These are the areas that are going to be crucial that I increase my knowledge on. The financing piece, it's going to be a large dollar amount to get this done. Property acquisition, paying business taxes, green technologies, sales, got to sell every day, and partnerships with wellness providers. I'm envisioning that this is a one-stop shop for a plethora of activities, and we could have people renting space from us, such as physical therapists, holistic healers, and other wellness practitioners. Some of the strengths I bring to the organization are passionate about recreation, the community involvement. I want to give back to this area. I love this area of the state. Green technologies with an ideal goal of having a zero carbon footprint. And again, sales. You've got to sell every day. If you're passionate about it, you can sell it. Professional presentations. These are listings of some of the presentations I've given to my field throughout the time. Evidence library. This is such a critical part of this project, and using tools such as Evernote, Google Docs, and YouTube, I've been able to create a nice resource library that I can turn to at different points in time. And then finally, some notes on my personal approach to change. I talked about the whole method. I'm thinking maybe wholly something as part of it. But these are just some notes I've taken through the classes that we've had, the first 2 semesters, the 4 classes, to develop that process and develop that approach. I do want it to be flexible, have some various change methods within that, getting great exposure to that through this program, but these are some of the things that I've taken notes on that I think I can implement into this. And then I did want to conclude that this was a great assignment to work on. It brought so many things to life, not only in this program, but it helped align things in my life in general. My dream, what's my current skill set, what's my gap analysis, developing that resource library, just developing the tools as part of this, using the screencast. It has been a great experience, and this is something that will be a lifetime takeaway. Thank you for watching.